yogis, Larissa here at the Funky Buddha. I'm here to talk about the pose of the month, which is boat pose. So boat pose is all about your core. So most of the time when we think about core, we think about this part right here. But your core is actually a 360 portion of your body. So we're talking about from here all the way up to here and then around the back as well. Boat pose in particular pays more attention to the front part of the core container. So we are going to be focusing a little bit more on the sensation that you're feeling in the front of your core, but then also your hip flexors. You're going to get some sensation in here rather than just in your actual abdominals. So there are many, many variations on boat pose, but the goal is that your spine feels really good, that you don't have any low back pressure or pain, and that you're actually feeling strengthening happening in the front of your body. So I'm going to show you a couple of different variations and ways to play with this. The first thing that I want to make sure that you're aware of is that all boat poses are good boat poses. There are no variations or modifications per se. It's just where are you finding that balance between strength but also integrity in your body so that your spine feels really good. So a full-on boat pose, you're sitting on your sit bones, is going to look something like this. So if I'm here for a while and I start to sink, and now my low back is no longer integral, instead of hanging out in a sinking boat, I'm not feeling a lot of strengthening here. This is actually a lot easier than sitting up in a full-on boat. You might even see my legs start to shake a little when I go up into the full boat pose. So if you find that your boat is sinking, you're starting to get a little bit of that doming in your back, it's going to take you out of your finding your ability to strengthen your core. So instead of going into the full pose and then your boat starts to sink and you're not getting the strengthening happening, just change your boat position. So this right here is actually a really great boat pose. And I promise, if you stay here for a while, your core is going to start to do some work. I can feel it happening right here. The moment I start to add a leg in, then we're going to start to get more of that hip flexor strengthening as well. So a couple of different boat pose options for you. Feet on the floor, spine nice and tall. You're leaning back just enough that you can start to feel your core, the front of your core container doing some work, and then you add your arms. The farther away your limbs are from your core, the harder your core is going to have to work. So if I start here and I say reach my arms up, it's going to be harder for my core container because my limbs are now farther away from the center of my body. Same thing with your legs. So if you're starting in your boat pose here and you lift one leg, it's definitely going to start to make the pose more challenging. You can do one leg at a time and then lift the other leg. You can also work on just your legs. Place your hands behind you so that way you're not getting a sinking boat. You can really put pressure into your hands so you can lift your spine up nice and tall. Then from here, lean back, add your legs. So this is going to change the feeling of the boat pose. You're going to get more of that hip flexor action happening in addition to your core, but now you're taking your arms out of the equation so you can focus on the pose in a slightly different way. So again, the goal of all of this is to look at boat pose as not just one way. There's many, many different ways. And play with it, figure out some ways that support you so that you're using your core container in an effective way. Hip flexors, front of your core, little bit of your back, but you shouldn't feel pressure at all in your back. So one more variation. So we have the variation where you add your arms and you can do one leg at a time, or you can add both legs. We talked about hands behind you, working on legs from that way. One other way that you can do this, that you can do both arms and legs, is to actually grab a hold of your thighs so that you can pull yourself up. Keep that nice straight spine. Lean back, pull your spine up, keep a hold of your thighs, and then just add your legs to your ability so that you're still feeling strength with no pressure in your low back. So boat pose may be here for you. Bent legs, again, the straighter your leg, the farther out from your core, the harder it becomes. Bent legs and hanging on is going to help you maintain a nice straight spine. You might find from here, if you're feeling good, you can let go. But if you let go and that starts to happen, your boat starts to sink, grab a hold again. Focus on spinal integrity and then the addition of strengthening the front part of your core container. Many ways to do both. These are just a few. If you have any questions, as always, holler, let us know. Have fun playing with both for the month of September.